In just 37 seconds, 3 immigration statistics changed everything. Farage didn't expect documents. He expected applause. Cameras caught his panic. The nation watched him crumble. What did Kemi Badenoch reveal about Reform UK's immigration? Lies that left Britain's most controversial politician speechless. At exactly 2:47 p.m. on the 12th of November, 2025, the Emmanuel Centre in Westminster was about to witness the most explosive political confrontation since Brexit. The ornate Victorian hall, usually reserved for academic conferences, had been transformed into a gladiatorial arena where Britain's immigration debate would reach its climax. I walked into that hall like someone who'd spent weeks building an unbreakable case against Britain's most divisive politician. My team had worked around the clock, cross-referencing government databases, tracking financial flows, and building a prosecution-grade case that would expose years of systematic deception. Behind curved wooden benches, 200 political journalists prepared for what the Telegraph would later call the day Farage met his match. The late afternoon light streamed through Georgian windows as reporters clutched tablets. Sensing they were about to cover the biggest immigration scandal since Windrush, I adjusted my navy blue blazer and opened a leather folder containing what my research team had spent 4 months assembling: 847 immigration documents that would destroy Nigel Farage's political credibility forever. Each page had been verified, cross-referenced, and legally vetted. At the opposing podium stood Nigel Farage, trying to project confidence. At 61, he had survived countless political battles, but today he faced something different: a conservative leader armed with evidence that could end his influence permanently. His signature tweed jacket hung perfectly, his silver hair immaculately combed back, but tension in his posture suggested he knew difficult questions were coming. Behind him, Reform UK staffers clutched tablets and whispered nervously. They had expected a routine policy clash, not a forensic takedown. Beside him sat Richard Tice, Reform UK's deputy leader, whose presence was meant to provide backup. Tice's usually confident demeanor seemed strained, his eyes darting between his notes and the cameras positioned for maximum coverage. The atmosphere crackled with anticipation. Political veterans in the audience sensed blood in the water. This wasn't going to be another talking points exchange. This was an execution. Mr. Farage, I began, my voice carrying controlled intensity. I want to discuss Reform UK's immigration platform and some statistical claims that raise serious questions about your party's honesty with the British people. The mention of statistical claims immediately put both Reform UK leaders on high alert. Farage's team had prepared for policy debates, not forensic analysis, that would expose lies buried in campaign literature. Mrs. Badenoch, Farage replied steadily, I am proud of Reform UK's clear position on immigration and our commitment to putting Britain first. Mr. Farage, I am not asking about your general position, I interrupted sharply. I am asking about specific immigration numbers that your party has been using to mislead voters. I opened my folder with theatrical precision and removed a document that made both Farage and Tice visibly tense. The paper rustled in the silent hall as I held it up for cameras, ensuring millions of viewers could see the official Home Office seals. I have here Home Office immigration data showing that in 2024, net migration to the UK totaled 685,000 people. Your party has consistently claimed this number was over 1.2 million. The revelation hit the hall like a statistical earthquake. The discrepancy was staggering. Nearly double the actual figure being used by Reform UK to stoke immigration fears. In the gallery, journalists began frantically typing as they processed the implications. This wasn't about policy disagreements. This was about deliberate misinformation that had shaped voting behavior. Mrs. Badenoch, Farage replied, stress creeping into his voice. Those figures don't account for illegal immigration, which the Home Office admits it cannot accurately measure. His deflection was predictable, rehearsed, desperate. but I had spent months preparing for exactly this response. Mr. Farage, I continued with devastating precision, according to Border Force data, estimated illegal immigration in 2024 totaled approximately 45,000 people through all routes. Even adding your highest estimates, we reach 730,000, not 1.2 million. The mathematical destruction was complete, every escape route blocked. Around the hall, murmurs rippled through the audience as the scale of Reform UK's deception became clear. But I wasn't finished. I had additional evidence about Reform UK's funding sources that would transform this from statistical error into criminal fraud. Mr. Farage, I want to ask you about Reform UK's immigration research budget and the sources of your policy data. His face immediately flushed red as he realized money was about to be discussed. Behind him, Tice shifted uncomfortably, knowing where this was heading. Electoral Commission records, filed by Reform UK, show consulting payments totaling £340,000 received from Migration Policy Research, Limited according to company's house filings. This company is owned by Thomas Mitchell, who also runs 3 anti-immigration campaign groups, fined by the Advertising Standards Authority for false claims. The connection between Reform UK and a consultant with a history of false advertising sent shockwaves through the hall. Cameras zoomed in on Farage's face, capturing the moment his political armor cracked. Several journalists in the gallery began making urgent phone calls to their editors. Mr. Farage, I pressed, sensing blood in the water. These payments were structured to avoid Electoral Commission scrutiny. Each monthly transfer of exactly £42,500 kept you just below investigation thresholds. This wasn't research fee, this was money laundering for misinformation. At 2:49 p.m., exactly 2 minutes into my questioning, both Reform UK leaders experienced simultaneous political panic. Farage's hands shook visibly as he reached for his water glass, spilling droplets across his notes. Tice loosened his tie, beads of sweat visible on his forehead despite the hall's air conditioning. "This is preposterous," Farage whispered. "Reform UK has always used official government statistics in our policy development." The denial was immediate but politically devastating. The qualifier, official government statistics, directly contradicted the evidence I had just presented, showing their numbers were demonstrably false. "Mr. Farage, these payments occurred monthly for over 8 months. Each payment was exactly £42,500, just below the threshold triggering Electoral Commission investigations." Richard Tice was experiencing his own political reckoning. "Mr. Tice, your signature appears on 7 invoices approving payments to Migration Policy Research, Limited. What research justified £340,000 being spent on discredited immigration data? We commissioned legitimate policy research from recognized experts," Tice replied weakly. "Recognized by whom?" I asked with devastating simplicity. "But I had my final piece of evidence. Mr. Farage and Mr. Tice, I have here email communications between Reform UK leadership and Thomas Mitchell discussing how to present immigration statistics for maximum voter impact rather than accuracy. Furthermore, these emails include specific instructions from you, Mr. Farage, to double the illegal immigration estimates because voters respond to bigger numbers." The hall fell into stunned silence at 2:52 p.m. After exactly 5 minutes of questioning, both Reform UK leaders simultaneously experienced complete political collapse. Farage buried his face in his hands, shoulders shaking. Tice stared blankly at his notes. "Mr. Farage," I concluded, "based on this evidence, Reform UK has systematically lied to British voters about immigration for political gain." BC moderator Laura Quinsberg called for an immediate commercial break. We'll return after these messages to allow our panelists to respond to these serious allegations. As cameras stopped rolling, Farage and Tice sat motionless, their political credibility destroyed. The statistical evidence I had presented was overwhelming, interconnected, and publicly documented the kind of proof that destroys political movements and triggers regulatory action. Within minutes, social media exploded. Farage exposed trended worldwide within an hour, generating more political engagement than any immigration debate in recent memory. CNN interrupted programming with breaking news of Farage's statistical meltdown. The political earthquake continued for weeks as investigators traced Reform, UK's misinformation network. Electoral Commission investigators opened formal proceedings. 3 major donors demanded their money back. 2 Reform UK MPs crossed the floor to other parties. Within 48 hours, Reform UK's polling collapsed by 12 points. The party that had built its reputation on telling hard truths was exposed as peddling expensive lies. The BBC debate became required viewing in political science courses, demonstrating how preparation and evidence can overcome populist rhetoric and expose political deception in real time. Sometimes the strongest weapon against populism isn't counter-rhetoric. It is mathematical precision, perfectly timed. What happens when political lies meet statistical truth? Nigel Farage learned these lessons when forensic policy analysis revealed that some claims are too well documented to deny. This dramatized account is inspired by real political tensions and public figures. All dialogue and specific incidents are fictionalized for analytical and educational purposes, exploring themes of political accountability and statistical integrity in immigration debate.